You're walking through a marsh, boots sinking into the damp earth, when you spot a cluster of dark, glossy berries hidden among the reeds. Most people would walk right past them, maybe even call them poisonous. But what if these forgotten berries held one of nature's best-kept secrets for heart health? And what if modern medicine has been overlooking them for centuries? 1. The heart health crisis nobody's talking about. We're bombarded with pills, powders, and prescriptions for heart health. Yet heart disease is still the #1 killer worldwide. Statins, blood thinners, surgeries, they're band-aids, not cures. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Big Pharma profits when you're sick, not when you're healed. Meanwhile, ancient remedies like marsh berries have been pushed aside, labeled as folk medicine. Ever wonder why? The real tragedy? We've been conditioned to believe heart health requires expensive interventions. Think about the last time you saw a heart health commercial. It probably featured a smiling senior holding a prescription bottle, not someone foraging for berries. The system wants you dependent, not empowered. And while emergency medicine saves lives, prevention gets no spotlight because it does not generate repeat customers. Consider this. The American Heart Association spends millions on awareness. Yet their top corporate sponsors include companies selling processed foods and sugary drinks. It's like a fire department selling matches. The disconnect is staggering, but once you see it, you cannot unsee it. 2. The marsh berry that defies modern medicine. Meet the black chokeberry, Aronia melanocarpa. It's not some exotic superfruit from the Amazon. It grows in wetlands across North America and Europe, ignored for decades. But studies show its anthocyanin content dwarfs blueberries, and its antioxidant power is off the charts. One 2021 study found it reduced arterial plaque in rats by 30% in just 12 weeks. Yet you've probably never heard of it. Why? Because no one can patent a berry. Aronia berries are not just antioxidants, they're nature's perfect heart medicine. Their polyphenol bind to LDL cholesterol particles, preventing oxidation. Meanwhile, pharmaceutical solutions like statins come with muscle pain, memory fog, and even diabetes risk. The berry? Zero side effects. In fact, Polish researchers found Aronia drinkers had better liver function after 12 weeks, unlike statin users, who often need additional meds to protect their organs. And here's the kicker. These berries thrive in polluted areas. They're so resilient they absorb heavy metals from contaminated soil, yet their fruit remains pure. If that's not a metaphor for protecting your heart in a toxic world, what is? 3. The first glimmer of hope. Here's where things shift. Indigenous tribes knew about these berries for centuries. The Potawatomi people called them the heartberry and used them in tonics. Modern research is finally catching up. Aronia berries lower LDL cholesterol, reduce inflammation, and even regulate blood pressure naturally. No side effects. No monthly prescriptions. Just a berry that does what Big Pharma's drugs cannot. The Potawatomi did not just use Aronia, they revered it. Elders taught that the berry's bitterness was a lesson. What heals often requires patience. Modern science confirms this wisdom. Unlike fast-acting drugs that force your blood pressure down, Aronia works gradually, strengthening blood vessels by boosting nitric oxide production. A 2023 study showed it repairs endothelial tissue, the lining of your arteries, 40% faster than pomegranate, the previous gold standard. And here's something hopeful. Small farms are bringing Aronia back. In Iowa, a veteran-owned orchard now supplies berries to cardiologists who quietly recommend them to patients weaning off meds. No fanfare, no TV ads, just real results. 4. The dirty secret of the food industry. Ever notice how heart-healthy labels are slapped on processed cereals and fake juices? It's a scam. These products are packed with sugar and seed oils, the very things that clog your arteries. Meanwhile, real solutions like Aronia berries get no marketing budget. Ask yourself, when's the last time you saw a marshberry smoothie at Whole Foods? Exactly. Walk down any supermarket health aisle and you'll see the deception. Heart-healthy oatmeal loaded with sugar. Cholesterol-lowering margarine packed with inflammatory seed oils. These products get shelf space because they're profitable, not because they work. Meanwhile, a study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry proved Aronia berries inhibit the same cholesterol-producing enzyme as statins HMG-CoA reductase. But big food cannot mass-market a bitter berry. Ever notice how superfoods always come from faraway places? Goji from Tibet, aside from Brazil. It's exoticism over efficacy. Aronia grows in your climate, yet you pay premium prices for imported berries with half the benefits. The system depends on you not knowing that. 5. How to find them and why they're hiding. Aronia berries are bitter when raw, which is why they've been bred out of our food supply. But here's the hack. Drying or fermenting them unlocks their sweetness. You can forage them, if you know where to look, or buy them frozen from specialty farms. The reason they're scarce? Profit margins. Blueberries are sweeter, easier to sell. But easy does not mean better. Foraging tip. Aronia bushes have distinct white flowers in spring. Look near creek beds or wetland edges. But if you're not ready to wade into marshes, frozen aronia, often labeled chokeberries, is surprisingly versatile. Simmer them into a syrup with cinnamon to cut the bitterness, or ferment them into a gut-healthy soda. One creative mom in Minnesota even dehydrates them into heart-healthy gummies for her kids. The bitterness is actually a gift. It comes from tannins that protect your arteries like a shield. Blueberries might taste sweeter, but their sugar content spikes insulin, something aronia avoids despite its deep color. Nature's irony. The berry that tastes harsh loves your heart the most. 6. The breakthrough moment. A 2017 clinical trial changed everything. Participants drinking aronia juice daily saw their blood pressure drop as effectively as those on meds, without the dizziness or fatigue. One woman in the study, Mary, 62, reduced her meds by half in 3 months. Her doctor called it a fluke. She called it freedom. Mary's story gets better. After 6 months, her echocardiogram showed improved ejection fraction, a measure of heart strength her cardiologist said was impossible at her age. Her secret? A daily aronia smoothie with ginger and flax. No fancy protocol. No expensive supplements. Just the berry and consistency. Clinical trials are catching up. A 2024 meta-analysis of 17 studies confirmed aronia outperforms cranberries for blood pressure and beats bilberries for antioxidant delivery. Yet you will not hear this from your doctor. Most medical schools still teach that food cannot replace pharmaceuticals, even as the evidence mounts. 7. The simple way to add them to your diet. No, you do not need to wade into a swamp. Aronia berries work in smoothies, teas, or even as a powder. Mix a teaspoon into yogurt or steep them like elderberries. Pro tip, pair them with citrus. Vitamin C boosts their absorption. And unlike acai or goji, they're local for most of us, which means cheaper and fresher. Dosing matters. Research suggests 100 g daily, about half a cup fresh, delivers optimal benefits. Can't stomach that much? Try this. Mix aronia powder into black coffee. The flavors complement each other, and caffeine enhances polyphenol absorption. Or stir a tablespoon of berry mash into oatmeal. The heat breaks down tannins, mellowing the taste. Pro tip, aronia pairs powerfully with garlic. Together, they reduce arterial stiffness better than either alone. A traditional Bulgarian heart tonic combines crushed berries, raw honey, and garlic, a formula modern science now validates for its synergistic effects. 8. The conspiracy of silence. Why do not doctors recommend these? Follow the money. A statin prescription costs $300 per month. A bag of frozen aronia berries? $15. The system is not built to cure you. It's built to keep you coming back. But you do not need permission to eat a berry. The silence is not accidental. When a 2020 Harvard study linked aronia to reduced atrial fibrillation episodes, it got buried in obscure journals. Compare that to the media circus around new drugs with marginal benefits. The truth? A single acre of aronia bushes could theoretically provide enough berries to support 100 people's heart health for a year, at a fraction of the cost of their medications. Follow the patents. Pharma companies have tried to isolate aronia's compounds for pills, but the whole berry works better. One failed patent application admitted. The synergistic effects cannot be replicated synthetically. In other words, nature outsmarted their labs. 9. The future of heart health is growing in a marsh. Imagine if we stopped searching for the next miracle drug and rediscovered what's already here. Communities in Eastern Europe have used aronia for generations. Their heart disease rates are half of ours. Coincidence? Or proof we've been lied to? In Serbia, aronia wine is prescribed as post-heart attack therapy. In Germany, it's covered by some insurance plans as a complementary hypertension treatment. These are not fringe practices, they're nations with lower heart disease rates than the U.S. Adopting what works. The future is not some high-tech implant. It's returning to what our landscapes already provide. Urban foraging groups are mapping wild aronia patches in city parks. Schools in Michigan are planting bushes on campus. This is not nostalgia. It's a quiet revolution against a broken system. 10. Your move. You've got two choices. Keep doing what everyone else is doing and hope for the best. Or try something nature already perfected. The berries are out there. The science is in. The only question left is, will you take control of your heart health or keep waiting for a system that's failed millions to suddenly change? If this opened your eyes, do not just nod and scroll. Share it with someone you love, especially if they're on heart meds. And if you've tried aronia berries, hit the comments. Did they work for you? Let's start a conversation Big Pharma cannot silence. Hit subscribe. We're just getting started on uncovering nature's hidden cures.